I don't know how much time I have. That's not a dramatic opener, not a clickbait line to get you to stick around. This is me, sitting here, watching the upload bar creep toward 100% while the shadows in my apartment twitch like they're alive. Every flicker of the screen feels like a countdown. Every sound outside my window feels wrong. If you're watching this, you've already made a mistake, but maybe there's still time for you to get out. I'm gonna say this once, clearly. Don't try to find me. Don't comment asking where I am, don't send anyone to check on me, and don't look for another video after this. By the time you finish watching, I'll be gone. Not dead, not missing, gone. Like I never existed at all. I thought I'd feel fear, or regret, or maybe some crushing sense of inevitability, but mostly, I feel hollow. I'm staring at the walls of my own apartment, walls I've known for years, and they don't look like mine anymore. The paint seems off, like it's been repainted in a color I've never seen before. The hallway feels longer. And every time I look at my reflection in this screen, my face looks just slightly wrong. I can't tell if it's the lighting or if reality is already starting to slip. The lamp next to me flickers, stuttering like a dying heartbeat, and for half a second the entire room dips into total blackness. When the light comes back, my phone isn't on the desk anymore. I didn't hear it fall. I didn't see it move. It's just gone. If this video is still up, if it hasn't been scrubbed from existence, that means I still exist, at least a little. Maybe I'll linger for a few days, a ghost in some server's memory. Maybe the view count will freeze. My life was boring in the kind of way that makes you start looking for trouble. I worked from home, sat in front of 3 monitors for 10 hours a day, and convinced myself that ordering takeout twice a week counted as treating myself. My days blurred together. Wake up, log in, scroll through endless work emails, and then spend the night scrolling through the parts of the internet most people pretend don't exist. That's how I fell into the forums. The weird ones. You know the kind. Boards with names like Digital Alchemy or Dead URLs, where people argue about cursed VHS tapes or share screenshots of websites that supposedly predict your death. 99% of it is garbage. Half-baked creepypastas written by people like me, bored and lonely, trying to scare each other. Internet that wasn't just crime and scams, but something older, stranger. So while other people binge-watch sitcoms, I was clicking through dead links at 3 a.m., searching for something that would make me feel like the world was bigger than the tiny apartment I'd locked myself in. It was on one of those nights. Half-empty energy drink on my desk, curtains drawn to block out the city lights, that I stumbled across it. A thread titled, "Erase Me from Reality, Ritual Instructions." I almost didn't click. The title screamed edgelord nonsense. The kind of thing some 14-year-old would post for karma. But something about it, I don't know. The font on the forum looked wrong, like it was just slightly stretched, and the timestamp wasn't in numbers. It was in a string of strange symbols I'd never seen before. Maybe I was overtired. Maybe I wanted to believe I'd found something real. The post itself was bare bones. No preamble, no backstory, just a bullet point list of instructions. It read more like a recipe than an occult ritual. Draw a circle with black chalk in a windowless room. Place 2 mirrors on opposite sides facing each other. Use a candle stolen from a church altar. Place a feather from a bird that never flew. And the one that got me, acquire a key to no door. I laughed when I read it. A key without a lock. A bird that never flew? It felt like a riddle more than a ritual. I scrolled through the comments expecting jokes or trolls, but there were none. Just a single reply. It worked. I'm free now. That reply had been posted 3 years ago by a user whose account no longer existed. No avatar, no post history, nothing but that one chilling sentence. I leaned back in my chair and rubbed my eyes. Part of me wanted to close the tab, go to bed, and forget about it, but my curiosity had already latched onto it like a leech. I copied the text into a notepad file and started researching. Some of the items were weirdly specific, but not impossible to find. I checked eBay, then Etsy, then a couple of the gray market sites I used for tech parts. I actually found a seller advertising a key without a lock, claiming it was a custom art piece. The price was absurd, but I didn't care. My bank account could handle one ridiculous purchase. As I dug deeper, I found myself smirking at how far I was going for what was obviously some LARP tier ritual. I was tired, restless, and maybe a little desperate for something to shake me out of my monotony. The longer I stared at the instructions, the more I convinced myself it would be fun to try. So, I ordered the items. All of them. A feather from some taxidermy enthusiast's shop, a vintage altar candle from a collector of church antiques, even the damn key to no door. I laughed as I clicked place order, but as the confirmation email popped up, a chill ran through me. There, in the subject line, instead of my name, it said, "Welcome back." I didn't remember signing into the site. I didn't remember giving them my name. But they knew it anyway. The packages started arriving about a week later. Plain brown boxes with no return addresses, no branding, nothing to indicate what was inside. The first one contained the chalk, which was so black it looked like someone had carved a piece of night sky into a stick. The second box had the feather, sealed in a glass vial with a tag that read, "Do not expose to sunlight." The third had the key, a simple brass skeleton key attached to a string of red thread, its surface tarnished like it had been buried for decades. At first, I treated it like a game. I'd line up the items on my desk, arrange them like clues from a detective novel, and snap pictures to send to a friend I hadn't spoken to in months, before deleting the pictures, just in case. Something about the whole thing made me feel like I shouldn't leave evidence. When the altar candle arrived, it came wrapped in yellowed newspaper from a year that didn't exist, 1987, except the date read February 29th. I laughed it off, chalking it up to a vintage dealer's gimmick, but my hands shook when I unwrapped it. The candle was white, wax cracked with age, and it smelled faintly of incense and ash. That's when I got the email. It came from a sender address I didn't recognize, just a string of numbers and symbols like encryption gone wrong. The subject line was my full name, not the one I use online, my actual legal name. The email had no greeting, no body, just a single attachment, a PDF titled Your Instructions. I hesitated before opening it. The cursor hovered over the file. I half expected malware, some ransomware attack that would wipe my hard drive. But when I finally clicked, the document opened without warning. It wasn't the same instructions I'd copied from the forum. It was more detailed. Draw the circle large enough to stand in. Place the mirrors opposite each other, but ensure neither shows a reflection of you until the ritual begins. Burn the candle for exactly 13 minutes before extinguishing it. Keep the feather inside its vial until you hear the knock. The key must be held in your left hand when you recite your name. There was no mention of payment. No mention of who had sent this or how they'd found me. The PDF wasn't watermarked. I tried to trace the email header but got nothing. No IP, no server, just a dead end. Something in me shifted then. I'd started this as a joke, a distraction from my monotonous life. My blood turned cold. I'd uploaded this very video, hoping someone would find it. But I'd recorded it after breaking Rule 1, after leaving every mirror in my apartment intact. I typed frantically, "What happens if I already broke them?" The reply was slower this time. "Dead signal. Then you're counting down. Every time you sleep, every time you blink too long, they'll take more. First memories, then faces, then entire rooms. You'll wake up and entire parts of your life won't exist anymore. You can't undo it. You can only leave proof that you were here." I felt a lump rise in my throat. I wanted to ask who they were, but something told me I didn't want to know. Instead, I typed, "Are you still here?" The screen flickered. The page reloaded. Dead Signal's account had been deleted. I slammed the laptop shut and buried my face in my hands. My breath came in ragged gasps. I felt the weight of every mirror in my apartment pressing down on me, each one a silent observer. That's when I heard it, a faint scrape from the kitchen, like something dragging across tile. I grabbed a flashlight and crept toward the sound. The beam of light swept across the counter, the fridge, the sink. Nothing. Then I saw it. A handprint on the glass door of my microwave. Not mine. Too small. Too thin. The fingers were pressed inside the glass, as if someone had touched it from the other side. I stumbled backward, heart pounding. That's when I decided I couldn't stay here anymore. I packed a bag and left, stuffing my laptop and camera into it. I didn't bother locking the door. I wasn't sure it mattered. Outside, the streets felt emptier than they should have. The few people I passed didn't look at me, not even when I brushed against their shoulders. I ducked into a dingy motel a few blocks away and paid in cash. The man behind the counter didn't ask for my name, which was a relief, but also deeply unsettling. He didn't even look up at me. In that motel room, I set up the camera again. I need you to understand. I'm not telling this story for entertainment. This isn't a creepypasta. I need you to remember me, because every time I close my eyes, I can feel myself slipping further. Last night, when I blinked too long, I woke up to find my favorite hoodie gone. Not missing, never owned. The receipt wasn't in my email. The photo of me wearing it at a concert, blank space. My memory of that night felt hollow, like a dream fading after waking. If this is happening to me, it can happen to anyone, maybe even you, just by watching this. Maybe that's how they spread. I stared into the motel's cracked mirror. My reflection blinked a second too late. "Do you remember my name?" I whispered to the camera. "I don't think I do anymore." I've got 3 options now. Run, hide, or start following their rules, even if it's already too late. The first thing I did was smash the motel mirror with the heel of my boot. The glass shattered, shards flying everywhere. My reflection didn't break with it. I caught a glimpse of its face in the jagged fragments, still staring at me. I crushed each shard until it was nothing but dust. That's when I heard it again.
The whispering. Not from one voice, but dozens, maybe hundreds. It was coming from the TV, the walls, even the broken glass on the floor. They were all saying the same thing. Sleep. That's not paranoia speaking. It's just a fact. This motel feels wrong now. The wallpaper pattern changes when I'm not looking. The bathroom door. Checked my wallet earlier, and my ID doesn't have a photo anymore. Just a gray silhouette, like an unassigned profile picture. I can feel myself flickering. A knock. 3 soft taps. I froze. It wasn't at the door. It was behind me. The motel's cheap mirror on the wall was vibrating slightly, like someone was knocking from inside the glass. My skin prickled as I turned slowly. The mirror rippled like a puddle. A shape moved behind it, a tall, thin silhouette, its edges glitching and stuttering like corrupted video. Its head tilted sharply, and for a moment I thought I saw static bleed from the corners of the glass. I stumbled backward, heart pounding. The motel hallway was wrong. The patterned carpet I'd walked on an hour ago was now a blank stretch of gray floor. The numbered doors had no numbers, just endless identical wood panels stretching in both directions. I ran left, heart hammering in my chest, counting door after door, but the hallway didn't end. I spun around and ran in the other direction, but it was the same. When I stopped, gasping for breath, every door in the hallway opened at once with a soft click. The rooms beyond were all empty, identical, and every mirror inside each room was rippling. Dozens of silhouettes stood watching me from inside the glass. I screamed and slammed one of the doors shut, ducking into the room. I shoved a chair under the handle, even though some deep part of me knew it wouldn't help. I turned the camera back on myself, my hand shaking so badly the footage must look like a found footage nightmare. "This is it," I whispered. "I'm almost gone." To confirm my words, the camera screen flickered. For a second split, the silhouettes weren't watching me anymore. They were looking straight through the lens. Straight at you. The lights in the motel room flickered. My reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror behind me smiled, even though I wasn't. "Why are you doing this? Why me?" The reflection tilted its head, its mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then I heard the voice, not from the mirror, not from anywhere in the room, but inside my head. "You called us." I dropped the camera. The lens cracked on impact, the feed distorting, but I scrambled to pick it up, clutching it to my chest like a lifeline. "I didn't mean to," I shouted. The voice was calm. "Intent does not matter. The ritual is an invitation, and once invited, we come." I laughed then, a raw, hysterical laugh that echoed unnaturally in the empty motel room. "I'm uploading this to YouTube. You're hunting me through reality itself, and I'm just uploading this like some dumb creepypasta." The laughter died in my throat. when I saw movement in the cracked lens. They were coming through. The mirror above the motel desk cracked. A long, thin arm slid out of it, followed by another. The glass didn't break further. It rippled around the limbs like liquid. The creature's head emerged slowly, flickering, its face a blur of static. I stumbled backward, clutching the camera, whispering to myself, "It's not real, it's not real, it's not." The creature stepped out of the mirror entirely, its glitching body warping the edges of the room as it moved. Wherever it stepped, the floor rippled like water, and the furniture flickered between being there and not being there. "Please, please, don't..." It tilted its head again, studying me. Then slowly, it turned toward the camera. The footage distorted violently, as if the entity's presence was corrupting it. For a moment, I saw its face clearly, or at least I think I did. It wasn't a face, just a smear of static and empty black voids where eyes should have been. It reached toward the lens. I screamed and backed into the corner. "Someone please," whispered hoarsely. "Screenshot this. Download it. Prove I was real. If you don't, I'll be erased. Completely." The lights went out. The only illumination was from the camera's faint glow. The creature crouched down in front of me, its head inches from the lens, and I swear I heard a voice. Not from the head, not from anywhere in the room, but from the recording itself. "We see you too." The feed cut to black. I'm shaking so hard the camera keeps slipping in my hands. My vision stutters like I'm watching the world through bad Wi-Fi. The motel room flickers in and out of existence. One second I'm in a room with peeling wallpaper,